Is there anybody wants to say, comment, anybody wants to ask questions, anybody have anything to say?
Saram Suresh.
Yeah.
Sorry. Just want to reconfirm. Accordingly, the Gayatri was said with Mamitra. When he meditate, he got it, right?
Yeah.
And according what we know, it took him like few thousand years, before he got this. His tapas, then only meditate, then only got this. The question is, when he said few thousand years, he didn't mention how many life, or is it one life? That is a question. Because he never mentioned how many life, or what he said, thousands of years before he got the Gayatri mantra. Maybe somebody can confirm whether it is one life or many life.
Anybody? James,
I think it should be one life only, because earlier when Satyuga and all, lifespan was very long. That's what I could read from the scriptures. Like now our lifespan is decreasing 100, 120. Like Mahabharata time, it was 140, 150 people used to live. So
This some few thousand years, It's not 100, 200. No. He mentioned a few thousand years.
Where you got that information from?
I think in our SSI also talking about the Gayatri. I think inside the newsday, the Monday newsletter, one part was talking about Gayatri. It was mentioned there also.
Eternal companion.
I think it's eternal. Yes. It's mentioned there. I was sure, a few thousand years,
I think the context of it must be seen. Maybe that's where the confusion. Okay, let's check. Maybe that's a good point to check. Maybe we'll check and come back. Okay, anybody else? Anything? Any other comment?
Sairam?
Sairam.
Yeah. I have this question about spiritual coach, who many people go to for Akashic reading, Pitra Dosh, to remove obstacles, blockages in life or progression. Do you think we should indulge in these things? The spiritual coach, they even speak to spirits, and of course they charge, and their charges are very high. But with our Guru's guidance, what do you feel that? Do you think we should go to such people for advice or to remove obstacles? Please advise.
Yes. Anybody want to comment?
Saram, I think there are many experiences where people go like, they go to Chinese temple or Taoist temple where they got trance. When you kena charm and all that, it does help. It does help. To us, of course, when we pray to Swami like guiding, because everything is divine view, But then, of course, we use our wisdom and discrimination. Doesn't mean that what he say we're going to believe. I remember at one time, I went to one very famous Kuan Yin one, it's a going to trance, very established in PJ. Then, but then the Kuan Yin say, because of this, you have to take certain drinks, certain herbs, with chicken and all that. I said, Alamak, I didn't tell her, I say, being vegetarian, I wouldn't take all these, So, so you have to use your wisdom and discrimination. I don't think it's wrong, especially when you are in a situation where you're caught, where you just try whatever that is good or possible, Because Swami can come in many forms, in many ways. To me, the way I see it, but still we have to use our wisdom and discrimination. Don't just believe, right? We maybe try and error or something like that.
Thank you, James. Thank you.
What do you feel, brother Suresh? See, astrologers are different. Okay, they will tell you this dose you have and all. Okay, you go and pray in the temple and all. But these people, they charge a lot. In thousands, they charge.
Okay, so, all right, so this is how it works. So sometimes when you are, when the, you take the normal remedies, which is like Ayurvedic, which is the normal, the nutrients that you say to support your body, all that is normal. But sometimes now in accident, blood is oozing and you need first aid. So sometimes you cannot use natural therapy. You need to actually heal yourself or treat yourself immediately, urgently. And therefore, sometimes, in like what James said, in certain circumstances, in certain situations, help is sought for that particular purpose at that point of time. But where there is an exchange of money for very, very large amounts, this is where we need to be careful. Because there are many people who do this for the welfare, for the benefit of the person, sometimes quite minimally. It's just done and he's just doing it for the purposes of, for his sake of service. That is different compared to when people utilizes certain opportunities like this for commercial purposes. And the cost will be very, very high incurred, and then it creates a sense of dependency on these things, and then your mind drifts, and then that's where you slightly move away from the main core. So it is most important thing is to have that wisdom to know when to use, how much to use, and what to use. But always when we pray to Swami and have his guidance and all that, sometimes by his guidance also, there is possibility that some divine individual comes into your into life to guide us at that moment. But such people who comes to guide also won't be charging and asking for so much. So this is, people make use of the weaknesses of people to make money, and that is something not correct. And we must not succumb to those things. I think that is a discipline that we must have. Otherwise, we will find that we'll start depending upon all these things and we will get drifted away and moved away. By astrology, where they are real good ones who will help to guide people, that's a different subject altogether. But in terms of sometimes, as you said, when there's blocks and all that, much of the remedial is related to chanting mantra, putting the thing, coming back to your spirit, coming back to your own nature, helps greatly in that manner. Sometimes when these people uses high costing and high methods, sometimes they say they do it, and then you don't even participate in those things. Then it's like, I'm sick, but you go to the hospital. How do you get cured? So these are things that we need to keep.
But if you have a pitra dosh or something, how do you know? How do you remove it,
Yeah. So, okay, this is a subject, totally a very deep subject, and we can go on for quite a long while. In every aspect, there is sometimes some dosh that like pitra dosh, certain dosh. There are certain remedies, certain way of doing that. And much of the maze that is done, that there are some basic steps that people do, and doesn't really cost so much like what you're saying. It just requires a certain attitude to be done, a certain prayerful moment that we need to do, and that will already mitigate. Pitra dosh means certain things that that ancestry connection, that must be some blocks, so that is done with a lot of emotions and feelings. This is how it is done. Otherwise, just by putting huge sums of money and mechanically doing sometimes may not really bring results.
So is it okay if we went to the temple and asked the pusari, all right,
So the priests are the technical people who helps in this type of thing. So seeking their help and assistance towards these things do help. But even such things, the priests won't do so much of huge encouragement. My main point contention is, do not fall victim to these things and be taken advantage of. That's the most important. That's the underlying principle.
And if you have a problem?
Sister, in life, if there's no problem, there is no life. I mean, really, seriously, if you have decided to swim in the ocean, there will be waves. If someone is telling you that everything is smooth, yes, now, but round the corner, there will be a problem. Everyone is supposed to be, even Sri Rama had problems, Sri Krishna had problems, everyone, even avatars had their own problem. Why won't we have? But the key point is that why we are in the satsang is whenever we are in a problem, we need to evaluate the problem and understand the source and the cause of that problem and structurally approach the problem in a very pragmatic, spiritual manner to address the issues. So most of the time, most problems exist at the physical level, mental level, intellectual level. These are the three levels that you will probably affected. And if you continue to remain at that level, you will only find solutions to a limited level. But when we start doing meditation, start praying, we move to the fourth dimension, which is the Atmic level. It is only from the Atmic level that you'll find solace, comfort, and strength to look and diffuse the issues that are bubbling at the other three levels. So spiritual people, it's not that they will not be faced with the problem, they should have a pragmatic approach towards the problem solving. And that's what the whole idea is. So it's not about removing the examination paper, but it is about knowing what answers to fill up in the examination paper. For that, we need strength and most importantly, faith in Bhagavan. And so all this, what we are doing now, Spirit Satsang, all is to reinforce that faith so that these problems can be diffused. Sometimes, most of the time, it may not be immediate, but for sure, as we keep on sadhana, we keep on increasing our sadhana, our practices and discipline, that problem gets the chemotherapy of our attention and diffuses in time.
Okay, thank you, Sairam.
If I may add something, I'm looking at the Legacy website, where in a discourse by Swami in 1961, 27 July, Swami said the best thing is to have your own self as the source of light, as the guru, which means Swami said that all of us can develop ourselves, to be the source, as a guru. You see, Swami said the inner intelligence, the inner guru will reveal the truth. And for this, Swami said, adopt the morning and evening prayers, as our daily prayers. Then the intelligence will develop, and then this will be our guru.
In one line, Swami said, your conscience is your guru. On top of that, so tying up to what Brother Billy said just now, finally, ultimately, the conscience is the guru. So real solution, that's why if you come for that, those of you, please, the video I think is out for the last session that we had on the Gita. We talked about the Atmic qualities. So one of the sessions we spoke about is how to get connected to that inner source so that we can always find a fountain of answers to our issues, our ability to have infinite patience, in all those things are with us. So how to practice what we are practicing to get connected to that. Because the troubled areas are at the other three levels, physical, mental, intellectual. But most of the time, most of our interactions are at these three levels. So the whole thing is to subtly come down, connect, be peaceful, be happy, read Swami's literature, when Vyasa wrote Mahabharata, after writing Mahabharata, he was sitting by the river. He was very agitated, very frustrated. He was not happy. After writing the whole textbook, that's the epic, one of the biggest epics in the world. Vyasa was not happy. Then the Narada came to him and said, Vyasa said, why am I unhappy? Why am I? Then he said, it's because you were writing and writing. You were writing about all these characters like Dushasana's character, Duryodhana's character, all these. When you are writing the episode of the war, just by writing and thinking and all that, you already have become restless. So that is why you are restless. So he said, what should I do? Now, next thing is you write only about the Leelas of God. Talk about the glory of God. Talk about the pranks, the story, how Krishna was behaving, how Krishna reacted. So write about those things. That's a good idea. So what should it be? It should be Bhagavatam. So he started writing the Bhagavatam book. So this Bhagavatam, then he started writing. That's only when he started to get peace of mind. So it's a very powerful, if you look at the story-wise, see, you think one who write all those big, huge things, the entire huge text, there's no bigger text than Mahabharata. And you're not happy. And then that's because you dived into the characters and stories and so on. You became restless. So competency alone cannot bring happiness. Competency alone or issues like this, we cannot get. The only way of happiness is when you start connecting to God. That's why Baba said happiness is the union with God. Only when we start looking at looking at the story, reading about him, continuously being immersed in him, when we continuously get immersed, our thoughts become very subtle. There's no more slowly the fluctuations will slowly cease. Then we get connected to the Atma. When we're getting more and more connected, we feel peaceful, we feel happy. And the Atma knows how to find solutions in the world outside. Atma will guide us. The inner navigation system will guide us towards the right answers in the world. So this is what it was said. So in the Bhagavatam, when they opened that entire story, it is this Parikshit was there, and that small baby, it was just a small baby. They were naming the child, the child naming ceremony. So the baby was crawling here, baby was crawling there, and looking at every feet, looking at every cloth. So they were very amused to know why he's looking at, why is he searching? Nobody knew what he was searching for. Finally, when Krishna came, he was crawling, and reached Krishna's feet. And Krishna picked up and put him on his lap, and he was really enjoying that. It was a beautiful scene. So you see, the soul must know how to get back to God. And the world is enchanting. It will continuously give us problems, issues. It will continuously drag us inside. But we must have the constant yearning. Okay, whatever it is, these are problems, these are issues. But when we get connected back constantly to that source will find solutions. That source will make us connect to the right people. The source will give us the right information so that these issues and problems will slowly start to diffuse away. So this is the effort that we must take and keep constantly connected to the source.
Yes, Gauri.
Happiness is union with God. That's the definition.
Sairam, until we die, there'll be problem. It's all our karma. We have to face it. We have to face it with positive thoughts and all. And Swami said, life is a game. You have to play it. You have to accept whatever comes. With like how Doctor said, if you are concentrating on God, it's full of faith and self-confidence, you can face anything. You don't have to get confused. You have to a steady mind, and you work. Whatever comes, you just say it's my karma and accept it. Then you don't have to go to anywhere. Only Swami is there. So you connect to Swami and everything will be fine. Sairam.
Okay, sister. So now shall we quickly, who's the one, the last, I think we had a few more slides, right? It was mailing, not mailing.
Sister Kamlesh will start off today, yeah.
Yes, Sairam. I'll just open the screen.
Yeah.
Should we read this letter again and then continue?
Yeah, I think it's better.
Better read it, yeah.
Yeah. So I will read the letter and then we'll continue with that. Be like the star which never wavers from the crescent. Dear students, be like the star which never wavers from the crescent, but is fixed in steady faith. When the sun is over your head, there will be no shadow. So too, when faith is steady in your heart, it should not cast any shadow of doubt. I'm sorry, I have a sore throat today. Do not talk ill of others. Talk only of the good in them. All are good. If you see bad in them, it is because there is bad in you. If you do not like someone, do not mix with him. Grace is the sunlight which will ripen the fruit. Sadhana is the sap which rises from the earth. Both are needed by the tree in order that it may yield fruit. With blessings, Baba. Source Premdhara 3.3. So we have done the first question, and we have done all this. So we have discussed these 4 questions last time. Sister Chini, please. Would you like to go on?
I think we discussed quite enough on that already. I think we can move on.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. So we just made a summary of what we had discussed. And like Baba says, doubting is truly a component of the Rakshas nature, for it eats into the vitals of bhakti. It clips the wings of joy and dampens enthusiasm. It tarnishes hope. Such men cannot attain the goal even in the end of 1,000 births. So the questions, the points that we were sharing last time, and we came to this, what are the moments when doubts arise? Then everybody was discussing about it, and we came to the end that when faith gets unsteady and wavering, in times of difficulties, one feels, why me? Has Swami forgotten me? A lack of self-confidence. One thinks logically and intellectually only. The mind is troubled, and when our prayers are not answered as per our needs. So the doubts arise in these times. And in such moments, what has helped to regain a sense of steady faith? The points that we could see in the discussions were total surrender to Swami, hook on to him, pray with the stamp of sadhana, meditation, sign literature, prayers from the core of the Atma. Have patience, equanimity, and wait till the end. Spiritualize, be sensitive, and expand your love. Attending satsangs and read stories of exemplary people like Shabri, King Harishchandra Dhruv, who had steady faith. Encouragement by others gives the strength to steady their faith. Understanding the workings of our karma. Difficult times are the best times to get closer to God. Realizing that what had upset them were actually stepping stones leading to higher consciousness by solving the problems, delving deeper into their causes, and transcend. Not underestimating power of love and advice of others. Be among good company who understands you and skillfully and builds strong and steady faith in God. So this is a little example that I had about the doubts and the faith. I took it from the Ramayana. Like Baba says, doubt grows in the absence of faith and closes the doors to truth. So in the Ramayana, we see the first picture is about Kekai, who was the third wife of King Dashrath, and her maid Manthara. Hello, Sairam, can you hear me, please? Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Yes. So this Kekai, when Lord Rama was going to be throned as the king, the day he was going to be throned, Manthara, the maid of the Dashratha's wife, Kekai, was doubtful. If Rama becomes the king, what will happen to your son? He will never become a king. So these doubts, she kept on creating some doubts in the mind of Kekai. And what happened? Like there was no, she lost faith, and the destiny of the whole clan changed. So this is what doubts do. Everything changes. The downfall becomes like a downfall when it ruins one's life and the whole, and many other lives too. Faith can be established only when one grasps the inner significance of each incident and remark. Here, in the same, just after that, when King Dashrath calls Rama and tells him that this is like what I had made the promise, and Kekai says that Ram has to go to the forests for 14 years. So Ram had full faith in Mother Kekai also and in his own father. So full faith in the words of his father also. He did not mind leaving that situation when he was going to be throned as the king. And instead he was wearing the clothes of the bark of the tree, ready to leave the whole kingdom and go into the forest. So this is the strength which faith gives to us. So this is very, very significant, like how he understood the whole situation, to keep his father's words, the promise. He was very steady He did not become stakey at all, and joyfully he took up his father's words that okay, he will now go to the forest, and he was content with that. Sairam, Sister Jeannie, would you like to take up now?
Okay, all right.
Yes.
Continuing from where Sister Kamlesh left off, again on the topic of faith, below are some points put forward by our group members in answer to question 1, which asks, what are the moments when doubts arise? And in such moments, what has helped you regain a sense of steady faith? So if Sister Ramani is here, Sister Ramani, are you here from Sri Lanka? Sister? Okay. Sister Ramani said at the center, we sometimes meet people who, as you said, when they're undergoing difficulties, they tend to lose their faith. And they come and ask us like, why has Swami forgotten us, And how do we tell them how to build up their faith? So this was what Sister Ramani shared, she must have had this experience before. And then Brother Manoj, you're here? Sairam,
Yeah,
brother.
I'm
Very good. Brother, can you continue?
yeah, this was so I think you have written it correctly. This thought is quite natural when we lose faith. Of course, for us, we can relate to Swami and talk to him because we have seen Swami in physical form and moving around us and have heard him giving his teachings. So this gives us the strength to obey whatever he says. We lose faith due to our desire for worldly things, which we feel our prayers have not been answered, which is Kamlesh written earlier. Worldly desires takes us away from God because we want a son, a job, or a good business, and we want illness to be cured. So for such people, it takes time to understand why God does not seem to grant them their desires. It's because they have not understood the essence of spirituality yet. What is Swami's grace? It says that if you have equanimity towards good and bad, it means Swami's grace is coming. You become steady in your faith. But when our faith in God is conditional, like if I get this, then I will pray. Or if my wish is not fulfilled, then why should I pray? These are the reasons why we have to cite to them the stories of the people who have steady faith, like Shabri. Having faith in Swami doesn't mean that everything in our life will be good. So this was the time which we discussed, but faith will give you the strength to face the difficulties and to overcome them. Surrendering to Swami will be the best faith. So I was referring that time in a TV program at Netherlands, which I just watched that time. The former Prime Minister and his wife were both 93 years old, and they were sick and had requested to end their life with euthanasia. Euthanasia is allowed in the Netherlands, but only for the cases of very severe suffering. They both had love and faith in each other, and they didn't want to live anymore. Their wish was granted, and they died together, holding each other's hand. When people fall sick, we don't know their karma and what their passing will be, when their passing will be. So in those situations when they are suffering, we can tell them that Swami is building up their mental strength. Such encouragement may give them the strength to steady their faith and move on in the positive way. So the gist of this is that people have to draw from within, as Brother Suresh was saying, that yourself will guide you. So in these cases, I think the total amount of faith we have, that will really give us we have the strength, because Brother Billy says that in the Lord's Prayer, that which says that you leave everything on me, and the things when don't happen your way, and you're going through difficulties, still you say that since I have given you the command, you are under control. So I think this suffering is also a blessing which I am going through. So when that sort of feeling comes, which your conscience guides, then I think that we will regain our faith, and we will not suffer much, because we feel that the end will be coming for a better way for me, and what mind is thinking, the way that's why I'm suffering, is not the correct way, and Swami is choosing the best way. So this surrender is a very, very important thing. I was just listening a few days back, one story of one Samarpan of one Vinay Kumar from Bangalore. And he said that he had full faith in Swami, and so what happened that he was working in Bangalore, and he got a job in a very big company in US. So he was very happy, and he came with a letter saying appointment letter, and sat in the line to ask Swami that I'm leaving Bangalore and going to America. So what has happened that earlier his mother used to take him to Swami, but he was not very much interested in Swami. So once Swami told his mother that I will take care of him. So from that time, he had slow faith in Swami, but it so happened that his mother died after a few years, and he lost faith in Swami. So he stopped going to the Vrindavan. For many years, he didn't go. It so happened that he had got a driving license, and he was about to drive. So one day his sister said, we have some guests, why don't you come and drop these guests to the Vrindavan, so that Swami can meet, they can have darshan of Swami. So this Vinay was very reluctant. He said, I don't want to go to Swami. Why? He took away my mother. So, but his sister said, okay, don't worry. You can go to Swami and drop them, and we can come. He said, okay, that I can do. So what he did was that he took the guests, dropped them at the gate, and he said, I'll wait outside. All of you go and have darshan and come. I will not go to Swami, because he was angry. So he was parking his car, and suddenly it so happened that he looked at the back seat. He found a purse, and this purse belonged to the guest whom he was taking to the ashram. So he felt very bad, and he said, let me go and give it. I've just gone inside, so let me give this purse to him. So he ran inside, and Swami was just about to come for darshan. It so happened that Sevadal caught him and said, no, sit down, don't worry, Swami is coming. And he sat in a position which was first thing which Swami could meet these people sitting in that area. And when he came, Vinay Kumar said, it was my right time to ask Swami that why he took away my mother. So the moment Swami came, he stood up and said, why you take away my mother? So Swami just came near to him and said, didn't I tell your mother that I will take care of you? So that care and love which Swami showed, suddenly his anger finished. And then slowly, he started having faith in Swami. So it so happened that when he got this job in America, and he was sitting with the letter of his appointment, Swami came, looked at him, And without his telling, Swami started screaming and shouting at him. You want to go, go. I don't care what happens to you. You go there. Vinakama was really frightened in front of so many people, and Swami is talking in such a very angry way. He really got scared and he kept quiet. But by the time his faith in Swami has really developed, but a thought was coming, oh, I'll get $1 million in 1 year and have such a big position in America. It's a dream for me. But again, somewhere at the bottom of the heart, Swami's words kept him say, if Swami is angry, I should not do. With a very heavy heart, he came out and he didn't go, and he rejected the job. Things happened. He said, really, I was really very sad that day when I rejected the job. But after 2 years, when you all know that 9/11 bombing took place, and his office where he was supposed to work was on the 56th floor, and it all went away. He came running when he heard this news, saying that, oh my God, Swami have saved me from my death. Such a compassion, such a love he has shown to me. So the thing is that why I'm narrating the story is that sometimes the things we feel, because he always thought that I was thinking of a good job and career in America and everything. But Swami has seen what is further away, that 2 years from now I'll be dead. And that was the reason he was angry. So, but the thing is that it was his faith in Swami. He believed more in Swami than anything else that he could save. And now he's saying, I'm all doing this Samarpan talk because Swami, I had faith in Swami. So whenever these sort of things comes, if we listen to the stories of, like as Brother Suresh said, listen to Bhagavatam, Leelas of Swami, Leelas of God. He's saying that if these sort of faith and these stories, if we hear, our faith in Swami increases and we surrender to him totally, because that is a time when we understand that he is taking care of us in a very, for saving us from some bigger calamity or something like that. So this is what I feel, that the surrender and thought and devotion is the most two important thing which we have to keep in our mind, so that we can always fall back on this and think that whatever's happening is good for me. And then it happens that it deepens our faith when we face the reality. Today, Vinay Kumar is a very staunch devotee of Swami, and whatever he says, he does. So I'm really impressed by his story. I just want to share that this is what faith can bring. And it grows with these sort of incidences. It grows with listening to the stories of these sort of incidences, the way it's like our Sai Bhagavatam, Sai Ram.
Sairam, Sairam, and we have Sister Viji also from Sri Lanka. Is Sister Viji here? Sister Viji?
Yes, Saira.
Oh, very good. Sairam, sister, can you read for us your sharing?
Yeah, for people who lose faith when what they pray for do not happen, they must be strong enough to accept it, even if they don't understand or believe it at that moment. We can tell them that after some time, when they think back, they will realize that what they were upset about was the best thing that had happened to them. I know this because this has happened to me several times. Like if we have a sick person in the family and that person is really suffering still, we pray to Swami to please save that person, but unknowingly we might be putting that person into more difficulties. Yeah. And I remember my former Prime Minister, Mrs. Bandaranaike, who was suffering. I think this was said by Ramani, Sister Ramani. Okay, I'll read it. Who was suffering very much and was almost crippled due to her arthritis condition. She was in a wheelchair. She was in pain and was taken to see Swami. Her brother was the one who related the incident. Swami told her that he could take the pain away from her and make her walk again normally. But she will have to take this karma to her next birth. So Mrs. Bandaranaike said that the way she was didn't matter, but told Swami to please slightly reduce the pain, and Swami allowed her that, and her pain was much reduced. Myra.
Sairam. All right, Sairam. So, yeah, just now, Brother Manoj's story, actually, Swami has said that, put all your faith in me, I shall guide you and guide you. Swami told us that. And anyway, people usually lose faith because they haven't yet understood why their prayers were not answered, even after much intense praying. But what we must understand is that Swami does not give us what we ask for just like that, because he knows when is the right time to fulfill our prayers. That is why sometimes we may have to wait a long time. But within that long waiting period, people who do not understand will start to lose faith. And this happens especially to new devotees. We also have to factor in the workings of our own karma, knowing that sometimes Swami doesn't want to interfere into the workings of our karma, knowing that we will have to take more births to come back to go through everything all over again. Some things are not good for us to have, and Swami knows best. And on Brother Manoj's story on the euthanasia case of the former Dutch Prime Minister and his wife, if we look at it from the karmic point of view, we don't know if what they did was the correct thing, because sometimes we may have to live out our life, no matter how much suffering is involved, in order to clear some negative karmas. And I recall many years back, I hope I'm right about this, our Malaysian Sai Council was actively campaigning a Donate Your Organ campaign. And I actually signed up to donate. And much later, I read that Swami does not favor organ donation. I think the reason must be a karmic one. That's my own thinking. And if by one's karma, one has to die due to a heart or liver failure, that will be in the best interest of that person's karma, even though we may not understand it. And actually, I've got Buddhist friends who believe strongly that suffering is a purification of our own our karma. So some of them prefer to suffer through their sicknesses and all that, rather than going for organ transplant. So maybe at this point, in case our council members, anyone can confirm that this was what Swami said, that would be good. Sairam.
Sairam, Sister Jeannie, please continue. It's the next page now.
Oh, okay. It's Sister Prasanna, right? Okay, no. Okay, in other words, it is interfering, but by giving a person a new heart or a new liver, that person's life, although prolonged, is not that person's natural karmic lifespan. In other words, it is interfering into the workings of that person's natural karmic flow. Maybe this is why Swami does not favor organ donation. And I think the next part is maybe, never mind, I'll just read it anyway. We have teachers all around us, regardless of who they are and whether they are good or bad people. We learn from all kinds of people and in all kinds of situations too. I think maybe this will come later. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's okay. Never mind. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yes, never mind. So, Sister, we would like to call Sister Prasanna if she's here. Sister Prasanna. Sister Prasanna, are you?
Madam Jimmy, I think we hold on first. About the kidney, about the donation, organ donation. Can somebody reconfirm what is the Swami was referring to? Is it true or what you say? Or is it there may be other reason? Can we have an open discussion on it? Because this is quite important. You know?
Yeah, that's why I asked for any council members here who can confirm. And I remember that after that, they stopped the program. Yeah, Sairam.
So this was,
if I remember correctly, even the super specialist hospital does not encourage transplant, you know, because when the everything is about vibration. When you transplant some tissues from person to another person, the vibrations goes to the person. That's why I understand I think they check with some doctors or what, and they say even super specialist hospital does not encourage transplant, but rather, you go for heart surgery to correct the problem.
I see. Yeah, it's the vibrations from the
I-
person donated. Yeah.
Yes, Sairam, Swami's words are precious. This truth. So we have to accept that. I also agree.
I just trying to participate in the discussion. So blood is also a part of organ, right?
Mhm.
So blood donation is okay, organ donation not okay, is it? Just trying to get insights.
Yeah, I also do not understand, like even for that matter, taking medication when we are sick is also like working against our natural karmic flow. So I also do not understand. I'm just relating what I remembered. Yeah.
but blood cells die and then they are reborn back again, isn't it? So whereas organ is an organ, it doesn't die, it just remains there for long term.
Suraj, what's your opinion about this organ? Do you read anything about this?
No, I
But
know.
I think we do cornea transplant in Sri Lanka, and also if a person is getting a sight, I don't think it should be any problem.
Yeah. Actually, this was when we had that Swami's 85th birthday, I think. This issue came up, and where they are talking about the karmic transference and all that. But you see, when we have the luxury of doing that, yes, but sometimes in very deep crisis where life itself is at stake and we need that as the most surviving thing, then if you don't take this, then what else is there? I mean, he might die. So in that context, then how do you decide?
There's one article in ssatyasai.org, SSIO website. It says here that Satya Sai Baba's hospital performs complex transplant. The Sri Satya Sai Institute of Higher Medical Sciences was known for performing life-saving transplant, including complex triple organ transplant. This indicates a focus on advanced medical practices, which includes organ donation.
Oh.
So it's there. That means, see, in the situations where it's really needed, then we do it lah. Because that's the logical way of looking at it. I mean, in that sense,
Yeah.
I think this thought is emanating because of compassion for the other's life. And normally we have seen in our epics also that people have sacrificed their life for the others. So here the person is like, suppose there's a spare kidney or something, the person is not dying. I mean, and if he donates one kidney, other life is saved. So I feel it can be a good thing because, and suppose in the US, I believe it is taken for granted that once you die, your organs will be without your permission. Also, it can be. I mean, unless you say that I don't want to. Otherwise, by law, your organ can be donated for the transplant.
Yeah.
So I feel that for it's more of a compassion that some person is suffering, and if somebody dies and his organs can be of some use to some other person, I think organ transplant should be, I mean, a good idea in my feeling. That yes, I agree that vibrations and everything which Swami has said is correct, because it has really affects even the wearing that I had last time that we discussed, that Parikshit has just wore the crown of Shashupal, and he had to throw, he got the idea and threw the snake on the rishi, and that's what his life, he was killed after, has to die after 7 days. Yes, these are correct, because vibrations, of course, other person who has donated the organ, what sort of food, life and habits he had, that is going to the other person. And as Brother Savitan said, the blood donation, they say that the body really rejects all the, and every time makes a new blood. So if that thing which is going to be wasted, and it can save a life, and if the person saves life, means he can go through his karmic punishments or karmic goodness, and he can become a spiritual person, something like that. So to my feeling, if wherever is possible, we have to save life. And in the case of Lord Buddha, he said that the person who saves has got the more right on the life than the person who kills. So to me, I feel that organ donation also, if it is good for the other's life, it should be given out of compassion. Sairam.
Saram, I think maybe Jenny read that time, maybe Swami was referring to a specific case where maybe it's not advisable for the organ donation. I'm just thinking there's a very high probability, because sometimes Swami talk to different people with different levels of understanding. So sometimes we heard one thing, we thought, oh, it applies to all. It might not be, That is one of the situation. Even the other thing, you talk about the Holland case where the Prime Minister, asked husband and wife to be dying. I remember Swami said very clearly, we have to follow the country's law. Like in Malaysia, you can't do it, right? You can't do it. You say you want to die, you cannot, right? But in Holland, this time, they can, right? Because it's the law. So there is sometimes different law of each country we have to follow. For example, we also know, of course, we know in Buddhist teaching or more thing, we have to go through our karma to pay all, you see? That we understand. But then the country law come in again. Each country got different law, So I think we have to consider this. Then the other thing also, we also learn like in Buddhist teaching, right? Also advise husband and wife got coming to settle, right? So never go for divorce. If you go for divorce, you will come back again. But there are instances where you need to be separate from the husband, right? Maybe the cruelty, the evil, or you went to a lot of suffering. I remember there was this story where Swami took in the auntie, with the big dot and the head one, Patu was the very famous lady. She was married to a rich family and then went to a lot of suffering after that. Swami said you come to the ashram or something like that, and then her karma already settled, the suffering she went to already settled. So separate from the husband is okay, right? Maybe some of you read the story, the lady with the big dog. The third idea is she always put a big dog. But do something like that. I can't pronounce the name. Side up.
Saira. Yeah, this matter is very complex. Yeah, it's a lot of very debatable. also. So anyway, yeah, thank you all so much for all your sharings on this. Huh? Yeah, thank you. All right, shall we move on? Sister Prasanna.
Yes.
Yes, Sister Kamlesh.
Yes.
This is Sister Prasanna's
Yes.
share. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You can share it if she's not here.
She's not here. Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't think she's here. Yeah. All right then. Okay. Sister Prasanna said, I was just thinking about something that took place in my Sai spiritual education class. I was asking my students how they feel when they meditate, and one of my students said something very profound. He said when he is in that state, he knew that he was being loved and being wanted. I think that is the faith that we are all loved and wanted by Swami. That feeling itself makes us feel so elated, knowing that Swami is there no matter what happens to us because he loves us. That was a deep learning for me from one of the students that I taught. Sometimes children give us profound messages. Sairam, sister. Yeah. Brother Manoj, back to you. Sairam, Brother Manoj.
Ram, I just read, I can't relate the context, but not underestimating love of others. Any person we meet is going to give us a lesson or something like that. I still remember one time on my ship there was a problem and we were struggling on how to open the machinery. Suddenly we had a very small worker. I mean he was lower in rank, just a wiper, and who used to clean the engine. But he had the experience to solve the problem as he had worked on the trucks and used this method. He said, why don't we just change the pipe and put the pressure and it will be open. We did that and it worked. So we being engineers and after learning so many years, did not think of this very practical way of solving the problem. There was another nice story about a soap factory in Japan, and sometimes what used to happen is sometimes the soap will not be in the cover. So the Japanese were installing a heavy sensor to detect whether the soap was being fed into the soap cover or not. A worker was sitting next to them and said, "You're using such a big technology just to find out. Why don't you just, in the assembly line, you put a blower? And if there is no soap, the cover will be blown away." It was a very practical and innovative way of detecting the problem. So in spirituality also, it is not only the senior, the old devotees of Swami who can teach us lessons. A layman can also teach us a lesson. The idea is that wherever we get a lesson from, we should try to be open and accept it, whether it comes from a junior, senior, or anybody else. That is why I always keep my eyes open. And when somebody is telling something, must listen to and take a lesson. So this was which from a practical life I just saw it. And it so happened that many times it has happened that because you being educated, you being spiritual, you just think in one line. But a person coming from different background, he will think in a different line, and maybe that will be a direct approach to resolving the problem. So in spiritual matters also, a simple devotee will just while walking and he will give you a tip, and then you find that or a thought which will really provoke you to resolve the problem which you are facing. So this is very important that we have to keep our ears and eyes open to see and see with that angle. And once we change that angle, maybe we'll be able to resolve the problem. Saira.
Sairam, Sister Jeannie, would you like to continue with the? It's the second question. Sairam, Sister Jeannie.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I didn't hear you. Yeah, you continue, sister, please.
Okay, this is the second question that we have. Swami writes, if you see bad in others, it is because there is bad in you. So he asks us to examine all those you consider bad and explore how you can work on yourself to remove those bad traits in you. So this is quite like to work upon yourself. So this is, I got from some place, I don't know, I don't remember from which. It says that bad is present in this world as much as the good. Bad is important in this world, otherwise God would not have made it. It's only when there is darkness, the importance of brightness is realized. When there is fatigue, the bliss of rest is experienced. When there is hunger, the bliss of relishing food is experienced. When there is bad or evil, the bliss of goodness is experienced. Therefore, we should not see evil in a bad way and do not point at it. Rather, we learn from it to avoid it in ourselves and uplift ourselves in the right way. Yeah. First, we'll discuss this point. Do not talk ill of others, talk good of them. You see bad in them because there is bad in you. Baba says, when we criticize, the first of all, let's take this figure. There's one finger pointing to the others. And in EHV, we say that when you point one finger to others, the other three are pointing towards your own self. So it means if you see one point in others, which is bad, there are three evil points, they're bad points in your own self. So you better look at your own bad points. Yes, and when we criticize, we can damage and undermine the self-confidence of people and spoil relationships. But we do more harm to ourselves. The harsh and the wasteful energy disrupts the flow of our love for God. The evil that we see in others is nothing but the reflection of the evil within our own self. Man of truth, because of the pure love he possesses, he does not see the defects in anyone. It means that the faults we see in others are actually our own weaknesses. So there's an example of the snake. There was a poisonous snake who was the terror of the town, and the boys of the town used to beat it with stones and poke sticks on him. He would hiss and react to bite them. And one day a monk was passing by and he saw this happening and gave a mantra to the snake. His holy words worked wonders. He became very docile and quiet. Now the boys of the town beat it with stones, poked sticks on him. He would not react. And when the monk came back and saw the snake in this bad condition and so weak, the snake said that no one was to be blamed as the boys were ignorant, as they did not realize the change in the snake. So he did not hold them responsible. So this is how when we come in contact with the saints or with the good people, the thinking changes also. So now the snake was not looking at the bad points of the children, just looking at his own self and transcending his own nature. Sister Jenny, please take over.
Okay. If you see bad in others, it is because there is bad in you. Swami says all is reflection, reaction, resound. Swami says everything is a reflection of the inner being. In the book, Purifying the Heart, the author says our experience of others is a mirror of ourselves because we are the source of our perceptions of other people. We are the source of our perceptions of other people. And I'd like to take a bit of time to share a passage here and what Swami said about reflection, reaction, and resound. It's from the book Purifying the Heart. And Swami said, once man purifies his heart, he will find purity everywhere. The world outside is just a reflection of your heart. If you fill your heart with love, you will experience love everywhere. If there is hatred in your heart, the same is reflected outside. Whatever you see, hear, and experience outside is only the reflection, reaction, and resound of your inner being. All the good and bad that you come across in the external world are just your own reflections. So do not point an accusing finger at others. The whole world depends on your own conduct. If you are good, so too will the world be. It is a mistake to think that there is evil all around you in the world. In fact, it is your own evil which is reflected outside. If your feelings are demonic, the world all around you will look demonic to you. If your feelings are divine, you will find divinity everywhere. And Swami further said, all that you see is the reflection of what is inside you. If you call a person bad, it is just that the bad in you is reflected in him. It has got nothing to do with him. Good and bad are reflections of your inner being. So never consider that good and bad are separate from you. Swami said that. Yeah, Sairam. So, yeah. So, sister.
I continue.
Can we open
There's
this?
This is a video of Swami talking about reflection. Yeah.
Sister Ginny, I think we can discuss this point also about reflection, reaction, and resound among all the devotees here.
Or would you like to show Swami's video first?
Okay,
Okay?
sure. Yes.
Thank you so much.
I think how to go about it. The sound will.
Yes, thank you.
I think we have to reshare. We cannot hear.
Reshare and tick the two boxes on the right hand side. The sound and the video.
Sister Kamlesh, you have to reshare that. We cannot hear the video.
Sairam, sister.
We'll go about it.
No, we didn't hear, sister.
Or if we can't hear, we just read the subtitles. Is that okay?
Sairam sister, yes, what is it?
No,
we could not hear. You have to go out and
okay, sorry.
both the boxes. We told.
Yeah, okay. I first stop sharing it first, right?
Okay.
Oh,
And then reshare again.
Yeah,
Reshare
I share the screen first. Yeah. And there are 2 points, right?
Yeah, there are two buttons at the right hand side.
Share sound
Yep.
and optimize the video clip. Okay. So I share this separately today. Could you hear it now, everybody?
Yes.
Yes? Okay.
ఇది ఒక పాత్ర.
This is a tumbler.
ఈ పాత్రలో ఏమీ లేదు.
The tumbler is empty.
కానీ నీరు పోస్తే నీరు నిలుస్తుంది.
You can fill it up with water.
సిరప్ పోస్తే సిరప్ నిలుస్తుంది.
Or syrup.
పాలు పోస్తే పాలు నిలుస్తుంది.
You can fill it up with milk.
మజ్జిగ పోస్తే మజ్జిగ నిలుస్తుంది.
Or buttermilk.
కానీ ఏది పోస్తామో ఆ పాత్రలు దాన్ని నిండిపోతుంది.
You can fill this tumbler with anything of your
కనుక నీ
choice.
హృదయము అనేటువంటిది ఒక పాత్ర.
Our heart is a tumbler.
దీంట్లో ప్రేమ అనేటువంటి దాన్ని నింపుకో.
We have to fill it up with love.
త్యాగము అనేటువంటి దాన్ని నింపుకో.
Fill in with sacrifice.
సత్యము అనేటువంటి దాన్ని నింపుకో.
Fill it up with truth.
శాంతి అనేటువంటి దాన్ని నింపుకో.
Let it be filled with peace.
అప్పుడు నీకు శాంతి నీవు వేరే కోరనక్కర్లేదు.
Then you don't to aspire for
నీ
peace.
శాంతి నీ నుంచినే ఆవిర్భవిస్తుంటాది.
The peace will emanate from within.
నీ ప్రేమ నీ నుంచినే ఆవిర్భవిస్తుంటాది.
The peace will originate within you.
కనుకనే ప్రతి ఒక్కటిని లోపల నుంచి వచ్చేటువంటివి కానీ బయట నుంచి పోయేటువంటివి కాదు.
Everything comes from your own, nothing from outside.
రిఫ్లెక్షన్ ఆఫ్ ది ఇన్నర్ బీయింగ్.
Everything is the reflection of the inner being.
Thank you so much, Sister Kamlesh. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you
How
can.
do I go back from here?
So sorry, huh?
No, it's okay. Okay, that doesn't matter. I'll go. Let's see this. Yeah, anybody wants to talk about it? You want to talk about this, right?
Yes.
Sairam. So you say you see bad in others because there is bad in you. Probably is true also, but then when you see bad in others, you know, Swami also got the ABC, what bad company. It doesn't mean that we can't see bad. You know, as you said just now, the world got bad and good. There's light and there's darkness. That is a fact, right? So when we say bad in others, do we feel bad? That is, I think, the question we have to ask ourselves. Normally, if we see somebody do something wrong or something bad with that person, either we avoid or we try to help him. So the intention is important. The intention is more important. It doesn't mean the person bad, oh, I close my eye, I don't see bad. No, it's impossible, right? So I think we see bad, but then our love, our intention is important. Can we help the person, or if cannot, then we have to avoid it. Sairam.
Anybody else on this, please? Anybody else can share their thoughts?
Brother James gave a very good
Yes, thank you, brother.
Yeah, because I remember there was once when I also was questioning. Swami say keep away from bad company. So I was thinking, if we keep away from bad company, then how do we help them? Yeah, it's what Brother James also, no, he had the same way of thinking too. Yeah. Can anyone share your view on this? Unless we keep company with them, we will be able to help them. Otherwise, if we are far away from them, there's nothing we can do to help them. Is that true?
I think I was just reading an article by American couple. They were very devoted to Swami and they used to visit Swami. So, but way back when they used to come to America, the wife used to be devoted and everything, but the husband will go back to his old habits. He'll watch horror movies and all these sort of movies which were not good. So initially the wife used to say that you just come from Swami and what is this? You have known that change a bit and you promised Swami so much like this. So later on, and she will get upset and she will not sleep and think and will go to Swami's prayer room and say, Swami, please correct him, please make him all right. And suddenly a thought came to her mind that why I am getting agitated by his behavior. It's my duty to tell him, read good literature and do the prayers, evening prayers and everything. But if he's still doing, and I'm getting upset, I'm not sleeping well, I'm getting annoyed. So then a thought came in her mind that it is his karma, he has to face it and he has not changed it. But by reacting to him, to his behavior, I'm changing my karma by becoming angry, by thinking that I'm also correct or something like that. So then she thought that it's good for me that I must not react to his behavior. And she said that I started feeling myself, Swami, I'm praying that you make him all right and make him good. But at the same time, I started, instead of getting angry, I started throwing my love to him in my thoughts. And as the thoughts from love started animating, I started feeling very happy and not very agitated. So what happened that slowly with that thought, that person changed. But what she was saying that it was the first I have to bring the change in me, that I did the thing to improve him, but it didn't happen. But then I thought there's something which is change, which is happening in me, and which is making my anger to grow. So it's better I stop my anger by reacting. And once she started doing that, she became very calm and as usual, and she used to have good sleep. So what I feel is that if these sort of situations come, I think in our discussions also we discussed this matter later on in the topic, that we have to change our reaction to the something bad happening. Then it will not affect us, and we will fill up our heart with that goodness, so that we always remain happy in the like as Swami said, fill up with the heart, fill up the tumbler with love, fill up the tumbler with peace and everything. So by looking at the others, what we are doing is that we are reacting, and that reaction is causing all these problems. So it's better to put a blank on that. It is their work, they are doing it, but we have to fill up our heart to get our peace and love within us. Sairam.
Sister, do we go on or more
Yes.
discussion is
Um,
better?
would anyone else?
Sairam, sister.
Yes, Sairam.
If you see bad in others, Swami has always said, you don't see the bad in others. You got to see the good in others. You don't have to see the bad, because what you're seeing as bad is transitory. What you see good in them is permanent. It's coming from their depth of their heart. That is their love. So if you continue to see the good in them, you can feel the good in you and the love in you. And the love you see and the love you have will cheer you up. It's like love being doubled, and you become a better person, because the inner reactions will not be negative. So that is the idea of not wanting to see the bad in others. What is important in the second line, Swami says, all is reflection, reaction, resound. Is when you absorb the bad, it goes into reflection, reaction, resound. What Swami wants you to do is, and I've read it, do not react, Swami says. Do not react. However negative it is, do not react. Swami uses the beautiful word, respond. You have to respond. How are you going to respond? Use the values which you have learned. Moderate yourself, and you respond. And if you do that, you have brought within yourself a lot of love. And nobody can see in you anger, temper, or getting involved in talking bad about others. All that is being managed because you didn't react. That means if you react, you are trying to make a confrontational approach, trying to make a correction of what you see is wrong. You are not supposed to pass judgment, Swami says. Leave all that to him. Your duty is to connect. And to connect with fellow human beings, you have to respond. Understandably, it can be irritating, annoying, and it can be adverse. Still, you have to respond. In that way, you get connected with Swami. And you also get connected to the Swami in that person who is making all the noise. Because you have calmed yourself. That should be the proper approach. Swami says everything is a reflection of the inner being. Kindness recognizes kindness. You are kind, you are love. Why are you love? Because your Atma is pure. It's pure consciousness. It oozes love. It oozes love. All the 4 human values, 5 human values are there inside you. Swami says it is latent. Latent means it hasn't been created awareness for it to come out. Swami has taught you how to bring it out. And you become a flower. And that flower you are is divine love. It can be damaged. It can be a flower with a worm. It can be a flower with an insect. Now that is supposed to be an incident where you might look good, but actually you are not. You are supposed to purify yourself in such a way that you are that flower which will cherish all people and you yourself. How are you going to do that? You have to practice. Practice the love and the way to conduct yourself, to uplift yourself with all Swami's teachings. Remember that we are not alone in this world. No man is an island. We all live together and we share this planet. And our prayer is to save this planet, to let this be a heaven on earth. And you start with an individual, and that individual is you. And you have got to create the ideals. And the ideals must be based on those beautiful human values, the precious gems. How you manage it will show what kind of a character you have imbibed, values imbibed to bring out the character which Swami loves. So, in a situation, assuming that you have all those values, in a tight situation where you are put into a test, you are using those values to respond and then create the vibration of love like that. Sometimes it might be difficult, so you keep silent, because when you are silent, you are in communion with God within you. The outside of you may be tempered with some amount of irritation, but the inside of you is silent, and that silence will bring even the outside of you into silence. And you may just want to take a walk or move away from a tight situation, and you have not reacted, you have responded. Sairam, sister.
Thank you, Brother Rama. Yeah, very wise words from you. Yeah, actually, we are almost coming to 10 o'clock already. And maybe if there's anyone else who would like to share before we close. Sairam?
Yeah. So it's a very interesting topic. So the word, because Baba said, if you look at the tumbler he held in his hands, and he said reflection is the reflection of the inner being, So if we are peaceful, the way to see it is, if we fill our heart with love and peace, then we will react to the world with love and peace. So then the world will resound back with love and peace. So the world will give us back love and peace. The world will create circumstances and situation of love and peace if we give it to like that. So this is where it is meaning. So what he is saying is, in this 3 letters, in short, he said, don't change the world because it's difficult to do. Don't change anything, but the mechanism of doing that is change yourself. So changing yourself is whatever that you are seeing is only a reflection of what you are. So we keep on increasing our consciousness to a higher and higher level. Then from that higher platform, what will happen is you will react to the world from that platform of peace, from that higher state of consciousness, and the world will rebound back exactly how you respond, how you gave it to you. So this process is how the whole essence of transformation, how to change people, how to make things happen in any circumstances, in any situation. So if you are having a difficulty with someone, then you continuously focus only on the negative quality of that someone cannot change, and you will only increase your own agitation, restlessness, and then the drift will take place, separation will take place, pain will be there, and all the traumatic experiences will happen. However, if you focus only on yourself and increase your consciousness, increase love, increase peace, then reflect and then react to that individual from a higher standpoint of platform, then slowly what will happen is he will start rebounding back to you from that platform in which you have sent. That is how to trigger and cause transformation in the world outside. So these simple words that Swami used is a very powerful and effective way of creating the right circumstances and right situation for ourselves. Please do not think this is just a spiritual standpoint. It is actually a mechanism in which we can create anything in the world. So you can actually try this out on any individual. If you have a problem by next week, let's say you pick up somebody, someone whom you have some issue, okay, do that. Reflect, keep reflecting from yourself a higher state of peace, happiness, and joy when you see him. Reflect on that. You find that you'll react to that individual from that higher state of platform. You'll find in short while, he will rebound back to you with that different reaction compared to the one that is right now. So this is something that we can change the world. We can change anything.
Yes.
Okay. So let's practice these 3 things in the next 1 week or before, and then come back. Maybe if anyone can experience some changes that you see, maybe we can share this experience next week.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you for this beautiful explanation on reflection, reaction, result, because it's always not easy to understand these 3 terms. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I took some time to understand this also, because sometimes when Swami says, you have to really contemplate on what are you talking about reaction? What is the meaning of the word resound? See, we sometimes we just repeat like a parrot, but what is the mechanism? What do you mean by this? How do I do this? So if you keep focusing like that, it'll hit it. So this is what you mean, my God. So that's why he went back to the tumbler, syrup, buttermilk, and all that. And then finally, when you empty, then you go back to the values. So the tumbler is the content matter. So now when the tumbler is so full of all those things, now the tumbler will react to the world in that manner, peace, love, because the container is like that. Then of course, when we keep on doing that, the world will rebound back like that. The world will give us back. So whenever you see any adverse situation to you, always don't look outside, look inside. Hey, why my inner being is like this, that I managed to attract this kind of reaction? I should change this. So so you work on yourself. So everything is about working on ourselves. That is the actual essence of the spiritual growth. When you say spiritual growth, it means this, that everything in the world outside, we look at it as a reflection of what our inner being is. Then you find the whole thing synchronized and everything becoming as even. It is with this feeling that we should read the scripture books also. All the scriptures, all the Bhagavatam, all these things when we're reading, we should read like that. You'll find the experience of that reading become very powerful.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you.
Sairam.
Sairam.
So, Sairam. So till we meet again next week, Sairam. Thank you.
Thank you.
Samasta
Sairam.
loka sukino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sairam. Thank you, everyone.
Sairam.
Sairam.
Sairam. Thank you.
Good night.